Hey guys, we have an interesting little knife to talk about today. Also loaned in from my buddy Gil over at Wild About Sporting Goods. Link down in the description, 10% off code, all that good stuff. But this is from Fox Knives, and this is their Vox Suro in Arctic Storm Fat Carbon Fiber. That just rolls right off the tongue now, doesn't it? This is a cool one. We'll get to the specs in a minute, but let's take a look at the actual knife. It is small, okay? We're not going to lie about that. 3.5 inches closed, and we'll go through the rest of the specs here in a minute. But it's designed by a Danish maker, Jespers Voxnes. Voxnes? Not exactly how to pronounce his last name, so I apologize for that. But check out this really cool looking blue, green, gray, black carbon fiber. I mean, it's awesome looking. I think it's great. And then it has a carbon fiber backspacer, looks like to me, with a lanyard hole. Has the titanium lock side, steel lock bar insert, and over travel stop. It is a flipper, and it works, but it's rather small to get a good grip and do a good flip on it. Now let me zoom back out so you can really see where it is in my hand. You know, it's kind of, you're holding it by your fingertips, kind of, and trying to dig it in your hand. I don't know. It's not intuitive necessarily when you pick it up off of the table. Your hand doesn't just fall where it needs to be. You can use a thumb hole, which is a bit more comfortable and secure, I think, in my opinion. And you can finger flick it, other than we all know that I can't do that, so I can do some wrist, which is how I open a lot of knives, is with a little bit of wrist and some middle finger. But, you know, I think the thumb flick is kind of the way to do it on this knife for me, anyway, because it's just a little awkward to get your hand in there at a good purchase for flipping. But let's take a look at the blade. Nice black stonewash. It is 20 CV. Fox Knives is made in Italy, if you weren't aware. And it's got a little bit of packaging tape stuff on there, it looks like. And these are limited number. I don't know how many they made. This looks like number 135 of the limited run. It has a nice bearing at the pocket clip. Overall, it's really cool. It's just kind of small, which is going to be a problem for people. The list price, and I don't know what it's going to be at Gil's website because I don't think this one was up at the time I was filming this yet. But the list price from the manufacturer, I think, is like $440. Okay, don't quote me on that. You can check Gil's site if you're interested in this, because he'll have it listed, and then of course you get the promo code and whatnot. So let's talk about the specs. We're at 3.5 inches closed. You're at 5 7/8 overall. 2.35 on the blade, 2.03 on the edge, 20 CV. 0.159 thickness. Overall thickness is 0.442. And it weighs in at just 2.8 ounces and runs on washers, best I can tell. It's kind of hard to tell for sure on this one, but it feels more like washers than bearings, but it could be bearings. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to double check. I did some looking around and couldn't determine online for sure. So I will do some more digging and put that in the description for sure. But all in all, this thing is pretty much of a beast of a small knife. Like, it's legit cool. Might be a little pricey to be this cool, but I mean, it's cool, but it's maybe not that cool. Depends on what the real price will be from Gil. But I love the look of it, the shape, big, huge belly. I mean, this can really do some good cutting work. Like, we don't need to have a Hellraiser to do a lot of cutting. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're opening a box, a very tiny, tiny portion of the blade is actually doing the cutting. So whether it's on this knife, or, you know, a big, full-size, beast knife, you're still only using a little bit to cut open that Amazon box. Or that box from the other knife maker, right? You're going to use your knife to open a knife. So, do we really need big, huge knives? Now, granted, this may be a little safer in some situations because you can get a full grip and it's not going to move on you if you're doing some more heavier duty cutting tasks than this. Although, if you choke up on this, it ain't going anywhere. I mean, it's sticking out the bottom of my hand. It's totally secure here. So, I don't know. Do small kind of beef knives like this have a place? I think they do. I think it's pretty cool. And I think it works in a lot of instances. You guys tell me down below, what do you think of kind of a small knife? This could be, it's almost a little big for a fifth pocket, but it would probably work fairly well in the fifth pocket. Let me just throw this out here so you have something, and let me just check a look and see, because I didn't try it in my fifth pocket. Yeah, it absolutely works really great as a fifth pocket knife. Fits perfectly. Okay, so let's do a couple of size comparisons. How about the Sharpie? It's longer than the Sharpie at least, so it's not tiny, tiny. Spyderco. How about another small knife, the Honey Badger? So it's shorter than the Honey Badger, but blade length, you're getting a little more blade length, but you're getting very similar cutting edge with the Honey Badger, honestly, because by the time you choke up, you're getting a very similar, slightly more of edge in the Honey Badger, but not by a lot. Okay. Moving up in size, we'll go to the Quiet Carry Waypoint. How about the Benchmade 940? And last but not least, we'll line it up with the Hellraiser, just so you can get a true comparison of that. So I think this is a pretty cool little knife. It's not cheap, but it's made super well, and it's a quality piece, no question. Super solid lockup, feels good in the hand. You can flip it easily enough. You just need to kind of get your hand positioned correctly. And if you use that finger choil, man, you're doing a lot of cutting work with this thing. I'm telling you, this is not a bad deal. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, of course. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.